So I want to stress with all this stuff that I might come off upset, and I might come off like calling people dumb and making myself out to be smart, and that's really not the case, because it's not what I'm trying to. Uh, it's not what I'm trying to say. I get a little bit wound up because I can't believe the idea is there, and then when I go to say it, I just can't. I just get upset because I feel like people have been just so bamboozled, and yeah, it's their fault, but at the same time, it's just like, man, does that absolute power corrupt? Absolutely. So the topic of this is that the politics is a dog and pony show, and what I'm talking about is, let's just look at the situation, right? There's a bunch of money in politics, and we need to get it out because the money is just corrupting everything. Money itself isn't bad, but as long as you have politicians that are running that everything's based on money, then that's the results you're going to get with the favors. And what I'm really upset about is I just got upset about all this Monsanto stuff for what they were doing in Colombia a few years ago, and I just feel like there's a reason why other countries hate us. And if you study that CIA guy, I'm gonna put up his videos too. This is kind of like a chapter of my life that I had closed and I never wanted to go back to. But if you study this guy, he was in the CIA for 20 years, and he's claiming that the militant people who don't like us as the United States, it's not about women voting, it's not about this or that. I think it's a little bit about environmental as well, but he doesn't mention that. But it is about stuff like this Colombia thing in Monsanto. It is about the U.S. having their fingers and stuff that, like, there's maybe 300 people at Monsanto that are sick, and like, I got to learn more about them, but I've never even heard their side of the story. So I'll try to figure that out, but I've looked for it. It's not even out there that I could find. That's not just blatant lies. And so anyways, there's, however many employees or shareholders they have, right? And then nobody else in the world is cool with this stuff. Like nobody. So, see, this started off for me to say that, to not get upset and not be ranting and raving, because that's not what I'm trying to do. This creates the opportunity. So what I'm saying about the politics is like, so I know what people are thinking, right? Almost always. And they need, like, these kind of conversations need to be fleshed out. So, okay, well, the politicians don't have enough, they need money to run their campaigns, right? Not everybody's Donald Trump. What is the campaign? The campaign is like a dog and pony show. You go around the country and you go and you don't even talk to people who you don't already have as supporters, or once it's like you're not converting anybody. You're just going and quote unquote showing people that you care by wasting their tax money. It's a dog and pony show. So okay, but what's the solution? The solution is make everything online. What's the complaint? Oh, not everybody has web. Well, look at this. How much money is spent on the campaigns every year? This dog and pony show, plane tickets, bus fares, like all that crap, and 30 clients that go, or 30 of the candidates that go around and do all that stuff don't even have a chance, and everyone knows it from the very beginning. They're just using the money to get their name out there, and they're giving you the illusion that it's that everyone has a chance, but they don't, and everybody knows it. So that's part of the dog and pony show. Now, if you take, let's see, I haven't done any research. I'm you know, if you want to criticize me, that's one of the things. But it's also because I mean, what is research these days? You Google stuff, and how do you even know if that stuff is correct or not, right? So, how much money is spent on presidential campaigns? I'll just type that in generic. Mitt Romney's campaign spent 433 million in 2012, while outside groups and the Republican Party helped push GOP's 2012 presidential to 1.24 billion dollars. Okay, so that's just the money that they have claimed, right? 2012, um, and I truly want people to know that I think both parties are equally evil, and well, not evil. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. They're both equally. They're like there's not really one better than the other. I just think that one is gonna run us off the cliff faster than the other one. Uh, Democratic election cost. Let's see. So 2012, they're saying 2 billion for the Democrats, 1.5. So that's just reported. So that's 3.5 billion dollars. So with 3.5 billion dollars, 3.5 billion dollars. Okay, 3.5 billion. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divided by 300 million. Well, let's just, I mean, we can make it simple math, right? We can do 3.5 billion divided by 350 million. Okay, so that's $10 for each person, right? Now let's do some more Google searching. How many people have high-speed internet in the USA? Now this doesn't, we're not counting that anyone else that, you know, you could use someone else's computer, you could have parties. March 24th, 2015, 98% of Americans have access to high-speed internet. That's whitehouse.gov, so I'm not really sure how but see, this is what you want to do. Like, even though I don't think you can really trust their statistics. I don't even think they trust their statistics, but you got to use it against them. So the president announces that 98% of Americans nationwide are connected to high-speed wireless internet, surpassing any point in our nation's history. Well, yeah, of course, there's no way it should go back down. But we've reached Obama's goal within 2 years ahead of schedule. So that's fantastic. So what they're saying is that 98% of these people, so we could spend, okay, so let's do a couple more calculations here, all right? So 98% of people have access to the internet. That means 98% of the people don't need to be campaigned to, okay? Especially when we're $16 trillion in debt. Like, they don't need to go to the rock concert that is what a modern day campaign thing is. It's WWF. It's crap. Like, when we're rich again, let's think about doing that stuff. But it's one of those things that, like, if 98% of Americans took the 10 minutes to listen to what I'm saying, they'd be like, yeah, this is stupid. Let's quit doing this thing. So, okay, so that means out of the 2% of the 350, 1, 2, 3, that's million people. So, well, there's 2% of them that don't have internet, right? So that's 7 million people, okay? So if you take the $3.5 billion and you divide that by the 7, okay, wait a second. 3.5 billion divided by 7 million. So that's $500 for each one of those 7 million people that we could use a one-time expense to pay whatever fees that would need to be to get those areas that don't have internet. You see what I'm saying? Or do some WiMAX or do something. So every year we could do we could give $500 or spend $3.5 billion on something that lasts forever. Like we could put it into our road infrastructure. We could put it into we could give it away to starving people. Imagine that. So we could give 7 million people $500 of food stamps or education, or maybe you get them all a smartphone, like an Android phone with smartphone service for a year to try to help them do whatever they're trying to do with, get them a Sprint unlimited plan, whatever, like $500 a year. You could totally do that for 7 million people, or maybe you could only do it for 3.5 million people, but it would be a lot better than the dog and pony show that is the election cycle. Like, I've never gone to see any of these guys speak in my life. I never will. I can watch it on the internet. So this is just something to think about. So every 4 years, we're blowing all this money, going further in the debt for a dog and pony show, when in reality, and so here's the thing. This is what's really upsetting, is they're asking money from you. So like if they're not getting money from the corporations, they're getting money from you, which doesn't need to happen. And like if this is the only thing you've heard from me, I systematically show you how all this stuff can be done through current things that we have, and would enrich current companies that we have through YouTube. It would enrich my company, of course, because I have a bunch of these solutions already spelled out for how we could do this without wasting money. And it also, like, let's not just take out like the corporate money. I might recant this later, but why should you be able to personally contribute to a campaign? It just seems silly. Are you not, like, if you're a big time donator to somebody, do you not expect something in return? That just seems like, if we're gonna do this democracy thing, and it's pretty tough to do it and have a good society, because all the people who are not doing well, they're going to vote for handouts, and that's going to systematically make their situation worse and worse, even though they don't know it, because they're not educated about how these things work. But like, if we're going to do the democracy, like, let's make it be a democracy. And if you want to make your vote count for more, like, you can't just like buy your way like the companies. And like I said, I might retract this about the personal contributions later, but why is it about money? It should be about merit. It should be about what can you put up on YouTube that people resonate with and make sense with people. This $3.5 billion every 4 years, so that's about $1 billion. Like, it's safe to say that we're spending $1 billion a year on a dog and pony show. And let's see. How many people went to campaign events in 2012? Republican, Mitt Romney. What I'm trying to do is, I bet you if it said how many people, like if they added up all the events and how many people went to it, I bet it's less than 10% of the country. I bet it's under 30 million or under 35 million of the country. So this is one of these examples where the whole let's redistribute wealth, like let's tax rich people, let's do this, let's do that. It, like, I don't really have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is things that will actually work and be successful. And I don't think we have a money problem. I don't think we have a tax problem. I think we have an allocation problem. And I think that we're spending money on stuff that it doesn't do anything for anybody except who the money's spent on. It's basically a PR campaign for all of these people, whether they get elected or not. And it doesn't do that. I don't think it does that much to help us. I don't think it does that much to choose a candidate, to go to a rally where everyone else is cheering and yelling for him. I don't think it gives you much objective information on whether that person is the right person or not. But, however, I do feel that if somebody wants to go and spend their own money like Trump does to do all this stuff, then, that's a different story. But this issue, I don't think any American wants the corporations, any American citizen who's not part of the corporations that can buy these candidates and buy results that people don't want. If we're going to do a democracy, let's actually do it, because I don't think anybody wants this stuff. But my solution, we're going to find out pretty soon. So that's the end of that one.